ask you about your experience with Tourette syndrome. I'm super, super fascinated by this. Um, this is so this is why kind of Nxivm is kind of interesting, because everyone always just kind of sees like the bad side. That's what's famous now. But Nxivm actually has been helping people in these incredible ways. For example, you had debilitating Tourette syndrome, right? And then I think you joined Nxivm, and Keith was able to help you overcome it totally, like totally cured. Like your Tourette's is 100% gone.
So yes, the answer is I no longer have Tourette syndrome.
Wow.
And it was through the courses that Keith created. It wasn't even one-on-one sessions with anything like
I see,
with Keith.
Wow.
It was, he had created a curriculum that was around the world. Like I said, 17,000 people took it. I went through the classes just like everybody else. But as I went through them and started to build more self-awareness about myself, I mean, ultimately the courses are classes on emotional intelligence. We had a center here in New York City on 5th and 37th Street, where it's just, you go and sit in chairs and you have conversations with people.
And that cured your Tourette's?
That is
just having that.
I just want to be clear. It's not.
Go ahead.
Yes, it was through these conversations and through these classes, which were a lot of them were philosophical inquiries about different aspects of life. There were practical things. It was also a goal-setting thing for entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And it was through these classes and these conversations that beat my Tourette's completely mind over body.
Wow. And so what is it that you tell yourself? Like, just stop ticking. Like, come on, don't be a pussy or whatever. Or I know, I'm joking. I don't mean it like that. But like, I'm over this shit. Sucks. Tourette's is fucking annoying. And I'm just over it.
Yeah, so it's not like that at all. The most simple way that I can describe it is that I've always talked about Tourette's is like there's an itch and there's a scratch.
Oh yeah.
And the Tourette's is that uncomfortable feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ticking is me scratching that itch. And most treatments and the way that we look at Tourette's is, okay, how do we just help the person with this dynamic? So if you take medication, it numbs the itch.
Mm-hmm.
So that stops you from wanting to scratch it because you don't feel the intense.
Stop it? Like, if you're talking to someone with Tourette syndrome, what would kind of be your advice to them? Because I know it's just a horrible disease for the people who haven't cured it for themselves yet. And I feel like this knowledge, what would be your advice?
Well, I don't say, just to be clear, I've never said, and so we actually had a documentary that came out. It's called My Tourette's. It's on YouTube for free now.
Okay.
Sadly, almost no one in the world knows about it. It came out after, the negative press, the real negative press, started coming out about 5 years ago.
Okay.
But in this documentary, you watch these profound transformations of people beating Tourette's mind over body. But even in the movie, we don't say it's a cure. This is not it. We didn't have a cure for Tourette's. Clearly, we had a set of tools for people that were open and wanted to go on a different type of journey. Go on more of a looking inward.
But you guys did cure
for some.
You said it's 100% gone. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. That sounds like a
I just
cure.
don't say. The reason I don't say cure is because also I just don't think of it as something that you can cure in that way. I have like a completely different. I don't even think of it as a medical disorder in that way now. But
what
I just want to be super clear is that I don't know if we could help everyone. I don't know that the people that we helped wanted to be helped.
Okay.
If someone wants to lose weight, they could have the best trainer in the whole world. But if they don't want to lose weight,
but weight's
doesn't matter if you got Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, but being fat is not a neurological disorder. So that's what really interests me. Because to all the literature, it says Tourette's cannot be cured. So it's incredible.
Look, you're preaching to the choir.
Right.
I lived with it for 20 years. I became a well-known inspirational speaker around the country, talking about Tourette's, living with Tourette's. My whole life was based off of Tourette's.
I can't imagine how hard that
I
must
get
have been.
It was, so then to take a class on emotions and now to be able to have a conversation with you like this, I couldn't even have dreamt of it. I mean, it just wasn't even something that could be possible because of like what you said. I have Tourette's, this neurological genetic disorder that's involuntary and has no cure. Luckily, because of what Keith created, and with Nancy Salzman, who also is in jail now, I've been able to go on a profound journey to live a very different life.
Can I ask you a question?
To answer your question,
do you still get the urge to do ticks, or is that completely gone? Like, where did you cut it off?
So the thing about the itch and the scratch, because of how the courses were very different, it's not like I'm sitting here and my itch is 100% and I'm just like, okay, don't tick, don't say something, hold it back.
Right.
The courses were different than any other thing that I did, is because by going on that exploration, I found out that my itch was way more emotional and psychological than it was physiological.
Oh,
and as a result, and working internal issues I had, anger stuff, beliefs about all this sorts of stuff, as a result of that, my itch went down. So right now,
down to 0?
Do I still have an itch?
Yeah.
It's not at 0, but it's probably at 4 out of 100.
Okay.
So to call that Tourette's is not, I don't even think of it as Tourette's. I think of it as I'm a person that has a body, and all of us have uncomfortable things. And what I come to understand, and this is for me, is that ultimately I was, in a sense, had an impulse disorder. It doesn't mean I had a neurological disorder.
I found this video, or this old video of you, I found really compelling, from 14 years ago. Do you mind if I watch it real fast for the audience, just to kind of give you some background? Yeah. So this is from 14.
Absolutely.
This was 14 years ago from a local news story or something like that, right? That covered your story.
Yeah, I was. Yes.
And did you? Yeah. So okay, let me watch it.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were about to press play.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna press play right now. Okay. Are you okay if I press play?
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were hitting it.
Okay. Can you play it, Dan? It's on me. It's on me.
Suspense.
You got to hit play.
Are you ready, Mark?
I'm ready.
Okay.
A day before my 17th birthday is when I really ran into the greatest obstacle I had ever encountered with my Tourette syndrome.
A St. Louis area teenager who says he has Tourette syndrome claims he was kicked off a Greyhound bus in Indianapolis because of his disability.
I got on the bus and they made an announcement about my Tourette syndrome. And earlier in line, a lady had heard me saying some inappropriate words. And she stood up and she said, well, how come he can say this word?
With that, this Clayton High junior who turns 17 tomorrow says he was kicked off the bus in Indianapolis.
So your tick was actually to say the N-word, right?
Yeah, at different times I was saying what would be the worst thing that I could possibly say in a given moment. So, if I was around a fat person, I would want to tick you're fat. If I was around a black person, I would want to tick the N-word.
So at the time,
it was a nightmare.
At the time you were on a bus, and with, it seems like from this image, predominantly black, and then you said the N-word on the bus.
Yeah, to make a long story short, I had told the bus driver about my Tourette's before I got on, and then I got on the bus. Then I was ticking it more, and obviously customers were complaining, and rightfully so. I mean, they had no idea what was going on. And then the bus driver, as I've gotten older, I actually thought the company dealt with it as well as they could. I mean, it's just a difficult situation. I mean, just because it's a medical disorder, although I don't see it the same way now, but of course at the time, what do you do? It's just not, I don't think it's as simple as, oh, well, this person has a disability. They just have, can do whatever they want, carte blanche. Like, it's a very difficult thing because I'm also saying something that's offending people. Luckily, nothing bad happened. I was safe. It could have escalated and gotten very bad.
So you went, so let me keep watching. So you're on a bus and you said the N-word, and then people got mad at you, right? So that's the kind of and then the bus driver kicked you off. Yeah. So let me keep watching.
And ultimately, after a few...
Elliot says he was on his way home from a church youth camp when the incident happened. Elliot and his family say they've traveled all over the country and never been denied access to transportation. His family calls it a violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Up to that point.
I appreciate that you guys all made it into kind of turned it into like a crusade here, and went to the local news about it and stuff, because it's. I have a theory for you.
I'm ready.
Okay, cool. I think you actually fake having Tourette's. Yeah, I think you actually don't have it.
Well, I'm open to.
Here's my.
What did you think I had?
Well, let me just break it down. I think this is kind of a funny thing. I doubt this is what happened, but maybe you just called someone the N-word on the bus, and then you're like, oh no, I have Tourette's. Because what's interesting to me, and I know that's funny, but what's interesting to me is that you've made like a whole career being a motivational speaker about how you cured your Tourette's and stuff, and that's kind of become like a big part of your identity. But what's interesting is, as somebody with Tourette's, I actually have Tourette's. I know it's not curable, so I just find that claim to be absolutely a pseudoscientific, crazy claim that has no backing in science or at all. And I think you're actually, in my opinion, right, as someone with Tourette's, I think you're scamming people.
Well, first off, did you say that you have Tourette's?
I do have Tourette's.
I didn't
Isn't
know
that
that.
crazy? Yeah, I know. That's why I was so surprised when you emailed me, because I was like, I have Tourette's, and I also fucking hate Andrew Tate. I've like talked like continually and openly, relentlessly about what a piece of shit he is and how much I hate him. And what's interesting too, Mark, is that I've also talked about how much I hate Keith and Nxivm and what a psycho he is. So when I got your email, I was like, this is incredible. And I could totally see how it is you fell into a cult, because you clearly don't do any research.
When I saw when I was watching one of your videos, I thought I saw you ticking. And so it did cross my mind. I said, I wonder if he has Tourette's.
Yeah, I do.
Why would you? That's so interesting. Why would you think someone would fake it? That's a pretty messed up thing for someone to fake.
No, I agree, but you've made a good living from faking it, doing like motivational stuff and writing books and stuff like that. And it's just, as far as I know, and that's just a theory, right? Because I don't know. I mean, I just have Tourette's myself, but obviously I don't know anything about you. So it's just a theory. But I just think that you can't cure it, actually. And on your website, it says you overcame it, mind over body. And that's just not possible.
But that's why, I don't know if you remember what I just said 2 minutes ago, is that we've never claimed it's a cure.
Right. Well, let's see. If we pull up your website, well, when I started, you said you're 100% like over Tourette's, right? You did say that.
Yeah, well, I said that I don't think of it as I have Tourette's anymore.
Right. You don't have it anymore.
I guess what I could say is, yeah, the fact that you don't like Tate and you don't like Raniere is not a reason that I couldn't talk to someone. If anything, that's not the point of trying to find people that love him. It's if you can find people, even if somebody hates someone, the question is, do we believe that there should be due process in this country? And are we okay with government officials or FBI agents committing crimes to convict a man? So by somebody not liking him.
Yeah. But in the email.
By someone.
Yeah.
But somebody not liking him is, if anything, is definitely better. I definitely did not research deeply every single person. Obviously,
at all. Well, yeah, you didn't look. You actually didn't look into it at all. Like the most basic. But let me break it down, Mark, because in a way, I see you as.
Well, just to be very.
Okay, go ahead.
Just to be very blunt.
Go ahead. Yeah, be blunt.
Yeah, you are right. I did not do research.
Yeah.
Someone that I know, who's Keith, currently he's been sitting in the SHU for over 200 days. So they're basically torturing a U.S. citizen, while at the same time he has filed in the Eastern District of New York with 4 former FBI agents showing that the FBI tampered with digital evidence. And they're now escalating the torture, and they might ship him to what's known as a CMU.
Can I read an excerpt
which is a communications?
Can I read an excerpt for you? It says, this is from your website. This is your website, right? MarcElliot.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to beat your Tourette's? I want to help you, but currently the government has threatened to put me in jail for being public about how I completely overcame my Tourette's with Nxivm.
Yep.
So when you say completely overcame, I just assumed that meant like that you have a cure for it.
Yeah, I can address that in a second. We can talk about that. But the point is that,
can you cure like bipolar or something? Can you cure like schizophrenia? Because that would be really good for a lot of people.
the reason, so because of how big the case is,
Right.
and I'm reaching out to people that have influence. I believe that even though you might hate those people, and I didn't know the depth of how much you dislike them, but
Yeah.
okay.
No. Yeah.
Is that there's something that we can agree upon, I thought, at
Well,
least
here's
that,
something-
are
here's
we
some-
okay?